Adventurous kids explore with education and learning what a wild life is in the Everglades. I want to explore the Museum of Discovering Science. What plants do butterflies like? I want to know about Key West. Adventurous kids, learning and fun. Adventurous kids!
Today we're going to
tell you about MP3, MPEG-1 and or MPEG-2 Audio Layer 3 MP3 is a lossy data compression format for audio. Using it makes smaller computer files, digitalize music and other sounds in the 1980s. Peter Seitzer started the development of a code for audio format of high quality together with his team at the German Fraunhofer Institute situated in Berlin. The profession had the idea to create code with low bit rate. The German Institute received the patent for the MP3 in 1989. MP3 was then passed to the International Organization Standardization. In that same year, the MP3 was included onto the MPEG-1 specification. MPEG means Moving Pictures Experts Group.
The first player to be able to read the MP3 format was designed by the same Fraunhofer Institute in 1990. A Croatian student named Tomislav Uzelak developed AMP MP3 playback engine in 1997. It represented the first device that could be called MP3 player. After the player appeared on the internet, two students named Justin Frankel and Dmitry Oldnurev transformed it into Winok. It took the engine of the original player and added the interface of the famous Windows.
1 amp was launched into the net for free use. It became successful at once. This way began to see the era of free music download. Soon various programmers started creating additional features for the MP3 player. Very often they created new encoders, zippers, software for transforming audio tracks into MP3 files and players.
Because there is no need to pay licensing fees in order to build the player, today many software MP3 players are free. Some companies claim to have patents. It is questionable because the format specification was published more than 20 years ago, meaning that any relevant patents would have expired. The most famous MP3 players are Winamp, Sonic, iTunes, and Music Match. The main feature of an MP3 player is to turn the MP3 files into standard audio form and then send them to the sound card of the computer. The sound card then outputs files into speaker so the user can hear them. Every MP3 player interprets music differently, though each one of them uses the same code for playing the MP3 files. There are also standalone, without a computer, MP3 players. These may be portable, or they may be built into a stereo system or car stereo.
And compressing for each frame a small section of audio, the encoder first splits the audio into 32 different parts using a filter bank. Similar to the MP2, the audio is then split further into either 192 or 576 different parts, depending on the complexity of the audio being compressed. More complex audio is split into fewer parts using the modified discrete cosine transform. The MP3 encoder then removes the parts that it thinks human ear can't hear. The remaining parts are then compressed using Huffman coding. Decompression does the same steps except removal of parts of the audio in reverse.
An MP3 player is a portable audio device people can use to listen to songs saved in the MP3 format. They can use USB cords or Wi-Fi to connect the device to computers so that computer files can be transferred to players' internal memory. MP3s are audio files that have been made smaller by removing sounds that the human ear cannot hear. Many newer MP3 players can also be used to view images or movies or play games. The most well-known MP3 player is the iPod. I didn't know that. They were popular around the early 2000s, but slowly lost popularity due to the introduction to smartphones and apps like Spotify. Even with this loss in popularity, you can still get one today. You can even connect to Spotify.
This is Spotify, which is a music download app. That's what they have now instead of having MP3 music playing as songs that you could physically download onto your MP3 device. That was back in the old days. You didn't have Spotify back then. When you didn't have Spotify, all you had to do was just go to the internet, look up the song, download the song, either go to the library, look up the song, and download it onto the MP3, or go to Spotify, find the song, boom, you can play it on your phone. That's how different the times have changed since the MP3 player. Thank you so much, Adventurous Kids audience, for watching.
Adventurous.
Yeehaw!
Blessed being.
And by the way, viewers, that's an MP3 on a whiskey.
What did you learn today?
Adventurous Kids!
Adventurous Kids!
What was the most interesting fact?
Adventurous Kids!
Adventurous Kids!
Adventurous Kids!
Yeah!